trying to get this whole thing a little bit situated. Praise and power. Welcome to a moment of harmony. Welcome to a Saturday morning moment, which is our regularly scheduled time. I just want to definitely give thanks for you all being here. We had a couple of technical difficulties this morning. There's like a uploading, there was an uploading issue with the thumbnail. So the video that's being premiered, for those that are coming on live, they probably are not going to have a thumbnail attached because it was so much trying to get one attached. But there will be one that I'll get attached and edited on here once the video is done. So thank you all for your patience. Thank you all for that are always patient when those type of things happen and those technical difficulties come in. If you're watching in real time, you have been, again, you are awesome, and thank you. If you are watching on the playback, thank you for your patience when I'm talking about what's happening live. I'm so very grateful for you. But we are here for another meiotic moment on another beautiful Saturday morning. It is phenomenally beautiful outside. We have gotten a break. If you live in Baltimore or the DMV area, we have gotten a break from the excessive heat, and we've had like some comfortable heat and some like go outside, do some activities heat. So it's been a beautiful week, and it is a beautiful Saturday morning. So I'm so excited to get into a really healing flowing moments. We are in meiotic moments. We are going through the 42 laws of Mayat. It has by far been my favorite series from under the umbrella of a moment of harmony thus far. It is just an amazing spiritual journey. Peace. Yes, we're live now. He said, are we live? We're live now. Hey, Mr. Carter. We're live now. We got it going now. It was a lot. It was a lot to... There was some YouTube issues this morning, but we are live. The live people are coming on. So welcome to a moment of harmony. Super duper excited to get into today's moment. Again, we're in meiotic moments, by far my favorite series. So we are in week number, or law number 9 with the 42 laws. We are in law number 9, and I am just, we're moving through 40. We have 42 weeks, 42 laws of Mayat, and we're at number 9 already. And I already feel like if you are committed and if you have fastened yourself into the 42 laws, into delving into them, into a more spiritual, a more practical perspective and direction with them, I feel like they're going to be extremely transformative for you. I know that they are. I know that I am already growing and learning and strengthening myself, even just revisiting these laws and conveying them to like-minded spiritual individuals. So I'm super duper excited to get into the one that we are doing today. I'm always excited to be and honored to be a part of your self-care routine. So I'm super happy for us to have a moment today. It is needed. It has been that type of a week for my astro buddies. You know, we've had some full moons in Capricorn and things like that coming up. Peace, peace. We've had these things coming on. There's been a lot of energy this week, so I'm happy to be able to culminate all of the energy that we may have been harboring, or things that we may be fostering, things that we may be sitting on, that are waiting to move throughout our spirits, waiting to vibrate out of us and radiate into our lives. And I'm ready to do that with today. I am just going to make sure that my camera is super. I always tell you guys, I can't always get it. You can't see anything before you go live. A lot of times it's not until you're live they give you a vague view of what it's going to look like. So I really like to make sure that the optics, because you're looking at somebody for an hour, you know what I'm saying? You want to make sure everything is everything that it can be, and that there's not too much sunlight in my face and all those things. So thank you for your patience and your love, and you're on and popping. So let's get into today's moment. So firstly, I would like to say the chat has been jumping. I want to give so much love and appreciation, thanks, admiration, gratitude to the live chat members. Your energy, your love, your presence is so outstanding. It's so amazing for a platform like a Moment of Harmony, because this is a platform where I've come or I've been sent to give of myself in a certain way. And when you have beautiful individuals coming back in peace, when you have beautiful individuals that reciprocate that energy, it is wealthier, richer, better than money, right? It is a currency of its own in its own lane. And I am extremely, extremely, extremely grateful. Now, with all of that being said, there's been a lot of activity in the chat from time to time of individuals that are what is it, like heckling. There's been some hecklers or people who have negative energy, or they don't have positivity to add to the chat. They may say negative or derogative things about me or something that I'm saying. I want all of my loved ones, all of my exchangers, all of those that are a supporter of the Moment of Harmony, we are not even giving energy to that. I'm not giving any energy to any negativity on any level of any day. I know Mr. Carter is on. I definitely was it was, blocking. What is it? I was recommended to block and do all this thing. When I'm in my flow, I'm in my flow. I'm just going to keep going and giving the mission that the Creator gave to me. I have family members that have known how to report or what have you, and they've done that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my thing is here. Here is the thing. This is a space of love, light, growth. This is a space of greatness, joy, and divinity. Now, because it is a public space, it is a public platform, you cannot always control who comes on or what they say. What I will say is that we are not entertaining any negativity. So if you did not come here with the great goodness in your heart, don't even worry about it, right? The other thing is, you're all a part of an algorithm. So no matter what you came here to do, you got an algorithm that's going to boost the Moment of Harmony, and I'm grateful for you anyway. And I'm going to give you this promise. Anything or anyone that comes onto the energy and lines up with the energy of others that have greatness intended in their heart, that radiate love and beauty, you're going to be touched. So even if you came here for a negative reason, you're going to get something good out of it. So blessings to you, and especially blessings to you that come here with all of the greatness and all of the love and all of the great intent to exchange in a moment of harmony. So even the haters are boosting the algorithm, okay? And we all gonna be grateful. We're gonna all give thanks and rejoice in it. My aunts are ministers, and they have a saying that they always would say from church, and they would always say, the Creator will make your enemies your step stool. And in this perspective, or in this arena, that is especially true, because even if you come up here, you have boosted my algorithm, and I have been extremely grateful to that. So even if you come up here and you didn't mean well, it can't penetrate, because nothing can live in my spirit that is not well with me. And nothing can live in your spirit that is not well with you. So you can't live here. You only can visit, and you can only boost the algorithm, and you only can live where I've opened up. And I'm only opened up to those that are loving and contributive and great. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's get on to our moments. Again, happy Saturday and Moment of Harmony. So this week's session is entitled, I Have Not Carried Away Food. It is the ninth law of the 42 laws of Mayat, and is I have not carried away food. Now, I want everyone to keep in mind that as we're going through these 42 laws, that these laws are very much, I am intending these laws to be the focus of our character content, the content of our character, and the character components of us that we need to work on, that we need to grow, nurture, focus on, in order to have more healthy, a stronger, a more spiritual, more uplifted, a lighter life. Literally a lighter life. And when I say lighter, I don't always mean that it's going to be less heavy, but we all do know we want to be light as a feather for our hearts. But I also just mean lighter as far as more luminous, more bright, a brighter life, a more vibrant life. When you look at a person that is deceased or that is dying, one of the first things that starts to leave is their color and their vibrancy. Many times, many of us have gone to funerals and we've seen the deceased in a casket and they don't look like themselves. And it is because the spirit animates their bodies, the spirit animates your life. It is the vibrancy. So again, we know that someone is not well if they are lacking color and they are lacking vibrancy. They are lacking motion. And we know like something is not well with this individual and something is not well here. And what I'm noticing is that on a functional level, we are becoming less and less vibrant. On a regular operational level, we are becoming less and less luminous and alive. Our spirits are bright as the sun. And many of us are not walking around in that energy. Many of us are not walking around that mindset. We're not walking around with that intention. And I want us, and a great deal of it has to do with our wholeness and the wellness of our wholeness. And our character is an extraordinarily imperative component to the brightness and the wellness of your life and yourself. Your character is not only how good you are, it is not only how good you are, it is how good you have. It is your character reflects the good you have. Your character is your greatest asset. It is what no one can ever take away from you. It can't be suspended. It can't be paused. It can't be arrested. It can't be trampled. It can't be killed. Your character is something that is self-built, self-maintained, self-grown, and it is unique to you, and it is a major asset. Can my character move my life forward in a way that brightens up, illuminates, and makes my life better, purer, greater, grander? And do I have a character that is worthy of the life that I desire? So the career and the vocation that I want, the friends and the associates and connections that I want, the relationships and unions and these things that I want, the things that come from me, right? Projects and creations and children. Is my character worthy of the life that I truly desire? Or do I have a character that is in need of a great deal of work, and therefore I'm constantly in a life that is in need of a great deal of work? So we're going to continue to move through these 42 laws of Ma'at because their focus is our character. These are spiritual practices that are culturally significant to me, but to anyone, no matter your walk of life, no matter your religious beliefs, no matter the subscription of the source you subscribe to or that you relate to, resonate with, no matter where it is you're coming from or where you're going, if you are in a place of your character be wanting to be at its most pristine, highest level, you want realistic tools and practical applications to self, you have tuned into the right moment at the right time on this platform, and or it was sent to you, or you came across it sometime in the week, and I am grateful and hopeful of your open receptivity and everyone's readiness to grow and get better. Listen, because we only get better when we all are getting better. We can only get better when everyone is getting better. So I'm so grateful again. Thank you for being present on A Moment of Harmony. We are in my moments. We're on week number 9. We're going into this session. I have not carried away food, and I am so excited to break this down with and for you. Okay, so when we get into this, law, I have not carried away food. As if you've been with me throughout this Ma'at, all the Ma'atic moments thus far, of week 1 through 8, you know that the law is one way, and we are going to go into the law and approach the law with many different perspectives. So we are going to take some perspectives. I'm always urging you to journey with me. Your girl, her mind is, the way the brain works over here is real special, okay? It's real different. But I promise you that if you stick with me, I'm going to bring it all back full circle, and we'll all stay on this ride together until we get where we're trying to go, okay? I have not carried away food. First, I just want to always give reverence and appreciation to my ancestors, those that came before us, those that put such laws and practices in place for us to really be able to understand life and thrive in life and drive in life the way that it was intended to, which is with divine supremacy. We all have come here to obtain and level up into divine supremacy, become our greatest, most magical, most fun, most phenomenal selves. We have not come here to suffer. We have not come here to be confused. This point of life and breath and growing and becoming is all to reach our highest level of operation. And there are those that have come before us that have put things in place so that we will not lose our way, so that we will not forget our way, and so that we will not be in despair in this beautiful, incredible, extraordinary vessel called life. So I always, every time I study anything from those that came before me, anytime I study the works of those in spiritual lights, in spiritual enlightenment and motivational inspiration, lesson laws, anytime I listen to our philosophers and just any of the wisdom, I am just always in awe and always full of gratitude for a blueprint. You know, we're full of questions, we're full of configuration, we're full, the world, the life that we live is full of lessons for us to level up in. We're leveling up with the lessons. However, many of us are getting stuck in the lessons with no way out and no clarity. And I just am always grateful that when I seek, I find. When I seek, I always find. And so I can only do that because incredible individuals have left behind gems, maps, compasses for me to find and to grow and to understand. And I just encourage us to continue to be that for those that are coming behind us. When they seek, they shall find, because we sought and we found, we implemented, we did, we became. So very, very, very much grateful for those that came before us. The work is phenomenal. We are phenomenal. What we can do, what we're capable of is limitless. And sometimes you can get stuck in a limited perspective because we live in a society that is not being operated in a spiritual vehicle, and therefore we only can operate on one realm of this existence. But last week we talked about the number 8, as above so below, and we talked about how you cannot operate in only one or the other, because if you're only supposed to be physical, you wouldn't have spirit, and if you were only supposed to be spiritual, you wouldn't have a physical. And the marrying and the merging of them two and having their significance be balanced in your life and understood equally and operated harmoniously, ding, is what is going to be the key to our supremacy and leveling up. Okay. I know that was a lot. So I want to get into the moment, but I just am so, so grateful for the beauty and the balance of life and spirit and how we can put those things together, even though we live in a society that is very limited, very much ran by fear, very much ran by despair, power, and control, and all of the low vibrational things. I am so grateful that there is a roadmap and that there is a way, that there are roadmaps and there are ways. Okay, because everyone is not necessarily subscribing to the same way, but I do know there is a way for you. There is a way intended for you. There was a way left behind for you to continue on a wonderful and incredible journey of life, growing and becoming. So it's so exciting, and I'm just so very happy to share and be a part of that with you today. So I have not carried away food. Now, to get into this moment, there's two things I want to do. I want to define carry, and I want to define food as they are traditionally defined, but also as we will be using them in the context of this moment. So to carry something is to transport and move something from one place to another. Carry. Transport and move things from one place to another. And we are using food and defining food as sustenance or nourishment, fuel, right? A necessary need for survival. Food is going to be our sustenance and our nutrients, our nourishment. Because I don't even want to limit it to only nutrients, even though it is that, but the nourishment, because nourishment is holistic. Nourishment is encompassing of many components. So our food, I have not carried food, moved one thing from one place to another, transported things that were needed for survival. Okay, these are going to be the definitions of carrying food. Move one thing from one place to another that are needed for sustenance and survival. I have not carried away food. Now, the first part that we're going to get into that, now that we have kind of, got a centered definition for us all to work with together throughout this moment. The first thing that we're going to get into is the carried away part of this law. I have not carried away food. Now, I always say this as a disclaimer in our moments. Many times we will very literally look at something that is very spiritual. We will use a physical eye for something that requires the third eye or the balance of them both. And so when we physically and literally say, I've not carried away food, many of us will be like, why is that even a spiritual law? What does that mean? What's wrong with carrying food away, right? I want us again, stick with your girl, because I'm going to move us through this with the spiritual lens and in the spiritual realm in order for it to be married to our physical existence and for us to be at one with self. So I have not carried away food. I want to use this again, getting to the point of getting carried away. Again, carry, we said to transport or move from one place to another. Food, something, and something or things that are needed for survival, nourishment, sustenance. I have not carried away with what is needed. So I want to talk about getting carried away with others' needs. That's going to be the first component of this law that I want us to analyze together. Am I getting carried away? Have I gotten carried away with the needs of myself or the needs of others? Meaning that there are, have I given too little to others, or have I given too much to others? Have I given too little to myself, or have I given too little to myself as far as what is needed and my balance and propriety with administering that in my life, and my balance and propriety with administering that to others? Are you getting carried away with your needs? Are you getting carried away with the needs of others? We are in many ways talking about excess, obsess, exploitation, imbalance, impulsiveness. We're talking about all the lacks of balance and intention needed in expressing, giving, conveying, and or receiving and keeping and having your needs or the needs of others. So have I been getting carried away with the needs of others? I have not carried away food. Have I done too much or too little as it pertains to the needs or pertains to the needs of others? Am I giving too little? So when it comes to life and our obligation to others, the price we pay or the fee, like I said, there's a saying that I love that says my rent on earth is service. So what we owe to others, with our gifts, with our light, with our abilities, with our capabilities, we all know that as human beings, being divine, or that spirits having a physical experience, we know or should know that our powers and our abilities are limitless. What we can give to ourselves and what we can give to others have no true cap on it. A lot of the times, because we are born, raised, bred, groomed in a capitalistic society, we really give a lot a lot of focus and power to resource, finance, and currency. And we will limit ourselves in what we're able to do, give, be, and have based on currency and finance. Now, I'm not a naive. I am a single mom. I'm out here in these streets. Okay. I know it's expensive as I don't know what. I'm not saying that we shouldn't care about our financial stability, that we shouldn't try to grow our wealth, that we shouldn't try to be our greatest and highest selves when it comes to the finances and when it comes to those material gains in life or material needs. What I am saying is that we should never ever limit our most extraordinary parts of ourselves to capital. That is the entire regime of a capitalistic society. And for a spiritual being, you will die here. For a spiritual being, which is most of us, all of us really, but for those of us that are craving and seeking, most of us, it is an absolute need, a non-negotiable need in our lives right now to be spiritually enlightened, spiritually whole, spiritually sane, spiritually healthy. But if you are subscribing and defining and limiting yourself to a capital wealth, meaning your network or your value is there, you cannot truly ever understand limitlessness of yourself. I often think about what if currency, because before there were money, remember, we as Africans, those of us with African descent, we were a currency at some point. We were a tradable, a stock or a good. Excuse me, just like you see trucks driving up and down the highway full of furniture for Walmart or full of food for the grocery store. We at one point were a commodity in that way. So what if the ugliness that is you know the ugliness that is the price on people, the ugliness that is capital in this way of a regime, what if these things never existed? Do we think that the creator created the entire universe, all of us in it, endowed us with gift and ability to love and nurture, heal, grow, understand? I mean, our ability for knowledge is limitless. Do we think that all of this was put in place for richness in money and finance? Because money is not forever old, right? Currency has changed over time. Commodity, all these things, service of goods and gain, all these things, not only have they changed over time, but they are different in different places as of now. So it's not even like one universal value system for trade and giving. So when it comes to capital, there are some things that are very unique to our experience right here in this life, and it is even changed from generation to generation. So when it came from I was just joking with my mother the other last week. I think it was last week because we all went out and my mother wanted to treat some of us, and she was talking about how she was gonna put $100 on the bill, and that it was gonna cover like most of the bill. And me and my sisters were laughing at her because we were just thinking about the value of the dollar from when she was raising children as opposed to the value of the dollar now when we're raising children, right? How we can look at $100 and it's like, you're gonna do what with what? You're doing nothing with that if we all go out and eat. That's, but it was so funny. But so it leads to continue to think the value that is placed on currency and capital, or economic gain in this society, or even in our way of thinking, cannot and must not be the same value that we place, the same worth that we place on spiritual self gain and growth. Now, a lot of times we will think that we are worthless to each other, that we are worthless, that we are limited in what it is that we can offer to each other in this realm. I hear all the time, like, I want to get to a place where I can be an asset to my family. I want to get to a place where I can. My sons say it all the time, Mom. When I get this age, Mom, when I do this, you ain't never gonna worry about another thing. You don't have to. And I know what they're saying. I know, right? With the physical eye, I understand. But in the third eye, I want to add this to us and to others. When it comes to us getting carried away with our needs, us being, distracted from our abilities to give and be our best at all times. You don't have to have $100,000 to be the best version of yourself, to be the best friend, to be the best child, to be the best mate, spouse, friend, community member, contributor. You just have to be the most balanced version of yourself so that you have what you can offer, what is needed when it is needed. And a lot of times we're getting so carried away with that others need certain things from us or that we need certain things from life, that we do not focus on the valuable gems and investments that we are endowed with, that we can absolutely offer right now today. Right now today, always waiting for this point in life that we've reached to call ourselves successful, to call ourselves wise, to call ourselves eligible, to call ourselves available, to call ourselves ready to give and to get from others. And my thing is, that is not at all the way that we want to limit ourselves. We don't want to be so carried away with the milestone, so carried away with the savings amount number, so carried away with the what is it called, the credit score or what have you. Again, not that these focuses aren't responsible and necessary in where we live and how we thrive. They are not the end all be all. That's all I'm saying. And believing that these things, believing that what your salary or your wage is the end all be all, what you drive or what you make or where you live is all of your contribution, is all of your value, is all of your necessity and how necessary you are to your life and to others. Many people who want to commit suicide are just giving up because they're feeling like they don't have enough here or they aren't enough here. And a lot of times you're getting carried away with the needs and you're getting mixed up or distracted from the holistic picture of the needs. You're giving too little. You're giving too little of yourself. If all you have to offer to anyone is a paycheck, if all you have to offer to anyone is, I'll give you a ride, or you can stay in my house, or I'm gonna give you some food. If your offerings and your sharings to others are limited to what is physically tangible, if you don't know how valuable you are by what you innately possess, your energy, your space, being in your space, hearing your words, hearing your voice, being hugged or loved or connected to you is valuable, is life-saving, is affirming, is elevating. You may not even be able to give someone a financial contribution, but you can motivate or care for someone, believe in someone, show up for someone in a way that pushes them through heights, that pushes them through levels and barriers that they need to get through to their greatest selves. But a lot of times we are giving too little of ourselves, and we're giving too little. We're in marriages where we aren't having constructive conversation, or relationships where we aren't having necessary and mature conversations. We're giving too little. We're not stimulating each other mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, on all the levels that stimulation can happen. right? A lot of times we are limited to physical stimulation, or we're limited to, aesthetic or immediate short-term stimulation. Again, like feeding someone or giving someone a gift or touching someone in an arousing way. We are limited to these and you are capable of divine stimulation of your life and of everyone you're connected to. You are capable of speaking life. You are capable of saving life. You are capable of manifesting great and wondrous things around you, but you're getting carried away with needs. You're getting so focused. And listen, a lot of times it's set up that way. If we only can pay attention to what we're going to eat next and how we're going to pay this next bill and how we're going to make this next thing happen, this next event, first day of school, if we only can be here, how am I going to get through this problem at work? And if we only can be at the first point of living, which is survival, if we only can be at the most basic level of living, which is survival, we'll never get to manifesting. We'll never get to life saving. We'll never get through to telepathic communication or understanding, supreme understanding. We won't get to the levels that are possible inside of us. And I know, like, a lot of people are like, what is she talking about? But many of us know things are going to happen before they happen. We feel things, we think things, we're in tune with things. We have a thought and it's reinforced around us. I was just thinking to call you. I was feeling like I should pray for you. I wanted to reach out to you. Of all the days you called, what I'm saying is that we all can be very much connected to one another. We all can be very much operative at another level with one another. But we're getting carried away with the work schedule. We're getting carried away with the material gain. We're getting carried away with fleshly desires. We're getting carried away with traumatic responses. We're getting carried away with the needs. I have not carried away food. I have not carried away food. We're getting carried away with the needs. We're giving too little of ourselves. And we're accepting too little from others. Because we too live in this same society. We too are in this same low vibrational existence that is primarily run and supported in a very low vibrational way, very archaic and savage operation. We too have been born, raised, and groomed in such a society. And so we accept the too little. We see certain things on social media or TV and movies. We accept the bare minimal of human possibility. We accept and exude the bare minimal of human possibility in our marriages, with our friends, in our circles, with our children, with ourselves, with our goals, with our ambitions, with our missions. We want to go after the things that bring us the most money. We're going to put our energy into what brings us the most money. Get out of your feelings and get into your bag. We all have been there when our heart is broken or we're angry. But no, what about if you get out your feelings negatively and you get into your spirit holistically? And the bag becomes a byproduct of your wholeness. What if our bag was only a byproduct of our health and our wholeness? I bet you we wouldn't be getting carried away with the wrong thing. We wouldn't be consumed and monopolized with the wrong thing. If the bag and the riches and the finances, I'm not saying they shouldn't exist and shouldn't be there. They are not the center. They are a byproduct of you appropriately centering your life. So I have not gotten carried away with food. I have not given too little. I have not given too little, and I have not allowed others to give too little to me because I am getting carried away with my needs, my surface needs. I am not getting carried away and exploited by my needs. I have not given too much. Now, this is a big one, y'all. I have not gotten carried away with my needs or gotten carried away with other people's needs by giving too much. Being in non reciprocal spaces, I have not carried away food. I have not gotten carried away with needing attention, carried away with people pleasing, carried away with likes and validation. I have not gotten so carried away with getting this one need met that I would negate all the holistic needs that need to be met within myself to be spiritually sound and healthy. We will begin to negotiate our needs. And when you begin to negotiate your needs, you are carrying away with the food. You are being carried away with what you need. You are going too far. Like the young ones are saying today, you doing too much. You're going too far away from yourself, or you are going too far away with others. Too far away from yourself, too far away with others. You have not been appropriate in your stance, in your life, in your needs, in your life, and you are doing too much. I have not carried away food. I'm not doing too much, and I'm not doing too little. I am not bending over backwards for individuals that are not reciprocating that energy, that when I bend over backwards, they are there to catch and push me forward. I can only bend over backwards for someone that's behind me. You only bend over backwards for someone who's got your back. We're not doing that. We're bending over and we're all back there by ourselves, and now we're contorted and out of shape, out of control and out of line. So I'm not getting carried away with the needs of others. They want this, they need that. Listen, it's something I am working on every day, to the point where I dang near have to isolate myself in order to avoid exploitation. Because I will give my heart freely, openly, without thinking, in second nature. Will just give of self. And I have to be like, are you get? Then you wonder why you're empty, food. Then you wonder why you're burnt out, why you have low energy, why you're depleted, your nourishment, your food, your fuel, your food. You've gotten carried away. You've gotten carried away. You have given too much unreciprocally, and you don't have the nourishment for your own body. You can't sustain your own happiness. You're not sustaining your own peace. You can't be stable in your own setting of self. You have done the most somewhere else, not where it matters and not where it counts, not where it can be restored. You have to be giving in a place that gives back. You have to be giving in the place where the giving doesn't run dry. We won't do that. We won't stop to see, is this a safe place to give? Is this a consistent place for giving? Is this a needed place for giving? Is this a reciprocal place for giving? Is this a divine place for giving? We will see a homeless person or a addict or someone in need on the street with a sign up with, I need money, I'm hungry, or needing money because they're homeless. And we won't give them money, some of us, or a lot of the times. We won't give them money because we feel like the money we're going to give them is going to go to drugs or alcohol. They're going to waste the money. We feel like they're going to waste our money. And so we will become someone that is in obvious despair, because they are in obvious despair. We will have discernment on giving them our money because of what they will do with it. But we will not take that same measure when it comes to our energy, our love, and our light, our time, and our talents, and our gifts. What are you going to do with this if I give it to you? If I give you my time, will you waste it? If I invest my love, will you misuse it? Will you mistreat this? If I give and operate my energy within my energy, and I express or exude or offer my energy to you, are you capable of the valuing this energy? So quick, we can roll up our windows. We can ignore a homeless person with a sign outside our window or as we're walking into a store. But we cannot do the same to friends, family members, or associates that we know are going to misuse our energy, misuse our love, misuse our attention, misuse our affection they've shown us. And yet when they call, or when they need, or when they want, we won't guard ourselves. We won't limit ourselves. We won't pace ourselves. We will again exchange. We will again offer. And we get carried away with the needs of others. Because here I am, giving and giving in my little 24 hours a day. I've given 6 to this person. I've given 8 to this situation. And I'm wondering why I can get to the last 2 to 3 hours of my day and I am empty, and I am sad, and I am lonely, and I am frustrated, and I am depleted. I have gotten carried away with the needs of others. I have not appropriately invested my goodness so that it would also nourish and flourish in my life. I have not given in places where giving won't run out. I have to give in places where giving doesn't run out. I know when I give to you what's going to come back to me. I know that being around you, I know that exchanging with you, I know that cooperating with you is going to fulfill me also. It's going to fill me up. I know that as I pour into you, this fountain works 2 ways. I will be also getting poured into. But we aren't doing that. We get carried away. I have not carried away food. These needs that are so important, the need to be seen. I told you there's a yoga mantra. Everyone needs to be seen, heard, and valued. The need to be seen, the need to be heard, the need to be valued. These needs, and then I inappropriately feed these needs. I inappropriately sustain these needs. And then I get to the end of my day, the end of my chapter, the end of my cycle, the end of this season, the end of this lesson, and I am in the reds. I'm deficient in areas because I got so carried away with me not being able to give you what you actually need. Honesty, transparency, maturity, communication, conflict resolution, ideas. I have either not contributed to my full level of self, not fully exercised and actualized myself to the point where I perform and show up less than I was intended to and come out less than I am. Or I have overly given. I have given so much of myself. I have not demanded much of anything back. I have not expected anything back. I have not assured that I am pouring into a reciprocal pot. I didn't check for holes before I poured, and now I'm empty. So I will give this analogy, real life situation. When my daughter, who's 15 now, when she was born, she got sick. They gave me morphine when I was in labor. I went in labor 3 days before I was supposed to go into labor. I'm gonna speed the story because it's a long story. I went in labor 3 days before I was actually in labor, and I had consistent contractions for like 2 days, like every 15 minutes. Not enough for active labor, but enough for active torture. Okay, every 15 minutes, serious contractions at the hospital. Please help me. It was just a weird little pre-labor situation I was in. In order to stop the pain so that I can go home and rest until I was actively in labor, they gave me a shot of morphine. I didn't know what they gave me. I was very young, and I had a birthing plan that said no medication. I was trying to go all natural. But because I wasn't in labor, they did not have to honor the birthing plan. And because I had already let my doctor know about the birthing plan, I didn't feel like I needed to reiterate it. I now know differently. Book your girl for a doula. But I now know differently. So they gave me a shot of morphine, knocked me out cold. I went home. I could barely walk. I was dizzy. I couldn't eat. I was out. Right, it was a big old horse shot in my rear of morphine. That morphine ended up severely harming my baby. One, because they do regularly give narcotic derivative drugs to mothers in labor, but they're not always appropriately assessing the capacity of the woman and especially a baby. Now, myself, my entire life, I've lived a very clean. I've never drinking any alcohol. I've never smoked anything. I don't even do well with medication, right? So even if I take like a leave or Tylenol, what have you, it can give me jitters. It can make me nauseous. So I don't do well with medication. So I really don't do it. I have to be, even now, I have to be like full-blown migraine to do an Excedrin because I'm always scared of the side effects that's going to come. All of that to say, at that point in my life, I think I was 22, almost 22 when Lovely was born. Clean as a cotton ball, right? As far as my system goes and what I can tolerate. No substance abuse of any sort. Again, not even over-the-counter drugs, really. So when they gave me a major shot of morphine in my rear, it was not good for me. Immediately, I felt the effects. I was out of it. I remember struggling to be coherent, struggling to communicate with, at the time, my husband, struggling at the time to focus and walk. And I was just like, I felt horrible. Pain was gone, but I was completely out of it. And again, it wore off in a couple of days. And when it wore off, 3 days later, I was in full-blown labor. And it had affected her. So I'll say all of that to say it affected my daughter. And when she was born, she had a number of issues that we were not sure why. We had not all put that together just yet. We just knew I had an extremely healthy pregnancy, extremely functioning baby, and then labor and delivery happens, and baby is not okay. And we don't know what just happened between here and there. It had some long-term effects. Lovely ended up going into the hospital at 8 weeks old and staying for 4 months in the hospital because it wasn't good. So when part of the reasons that I knew something was wrong with her when she was a newborn is that I would feed her, nurse her endlessly. And mind you, she was my third baby, so I already kind of had the idea of what the nursing schedule should look like and feeding babies and changing babies and what that should be like. She was number 3. She was totally different. She was eating to the point where my lips were cracking. I was dry. I was depleted. She ate constantly. It was just constantly eating. And she wasn't expressing any diapers. Like, she was barely like giving us wet diapers and things like that. It just was weird. She wasn't growing for the way she was eating. And I couldn't believe. So it all turned out that she ended up having a fat malabsorption disorder, and it was a side effect of all of the issues, and she could not appropriately absorb nutrients, and it was shutting her body down. And even though she was putting things in, her body was reading as if she was starving because her ability to absorb the nutrients and the nourishment was compromised. So even though she was getting and killing me practically, it got to the point where I had offered her a bottle, and she's like weeks old. And I gave her like 8 ounce almost, and she killed it and was still always very fussy, hungry, and uncomfortable. Her body was not absorbing. So saying all of that to say is when we get into the place where we're not appropriately assessing what we're giving and what we're getting. Had this been a normal, functioning, reciprocal, healthy exchange, I would be nursing, which means she would be taking all my calories. She would also be helping other systems when women are breastfeeding that keep them very healthy and strong, helping my body to heal and helping my body to heal from labor and delivery and get all my hormones balanced so that I would be a healthy new mom. Then I'll be also giving her food. She'd be growing, she'd be flourishing, she'd be healthy, she'd be functioning and reaching milestones because it would have been a healthy exchange. I give you milk, you grow, you become, we're great, we're good. You're doing your job on me because my hormones are balancing out, my calories are leaving, my womb is going back to it's shrinking back to its normal size because everything. What I'm saying is, had the exchange been healthy, we would both look and appear and behave and be healthy. But because there was a compromise of the exchange, neither of us were good. I got no sleep. I was extremely depleted. I was giving way too much. She wasn't able to obtain. She wasn't able to absorb. And she was getting way too little. And so she was unhappy and she was looking away. I was unhappy and I was looking away. You know what I'm saying? So I want us to keep in mind that that when we are giving our energy or when we are giving to each other, when we're giving to others, we don't ever want to be carried away with giving too little, limiting ourselves and limiting others. Oh, what a sin. Oh, what an atrocity. And we don't want to be carried away with giving too much to where we are not being cognizant of all the needs being met and all of the meiotic balance, all of the fairness being there. Getting too carried away with the needs of others. And that goes even in an exploitive way. Like there are those of us that are healers or seers or givers, educators, ministers, pastors, prophets, prophetess. You have people out there that are giving to the needs of others. This is the second part. They are responsible and endowed for and with the needs of others, and then they get carried away. They get greedy and they get carried away. We do, even though some of us may say you're not a minister or you don't have a flock of people under your, under the sound of your voice. However, you're a mom. However, you're a dad, you're a wife, you're an uncle, you're an aunt, you're a sister, you're a brother, you're a boss, you're a manager, you're a supervisor. You have people that care about what you say and what you do, that lean on you and need you and depend on you in some way. And when you're not on top of your game spiritually, when you're not on top of your game genuinely, emotionally, you can get carried away with the love, support, and admiration of others. If you are not, shout out to Bob Ali, standing guard. If you are not standing guard over self, you can easily get carried away with the love and the dependence and the needs of others. Those that are in a marriage or relationship and you're exploiting or draining, using or manipulating the needs of your partner, your husband or your wife, your girlfriend or your boyfriend, your king or your queen. You are exploiting those needs. You're using it against them. You're using it you are getting carried away with the needs. You're getting carried away with food. Those that are parents and our children hang on our every word, and they love us and they look up to us, and we're allowing our trauma to raise them. We're allowing our fears to raise them. We are limiting ourselves, knowing that all they have is us, and we're limiting what it is we give to them. We're getting carried away with their needs. In all types of areas of your life and all types of avenues of your existence, if you are not on top of your game, you will quickly be under it. And there is nothing worse than being under your game when people are under you. When there are people depending on you, when there are people looking up to you, when there are people needing you, when there are people believing in you, and then you go down. I'm not saying we can't have grace. I'm not saying we have to always be perfect. I'm talking about deliberate or reckless endangerment of self and others. Deliberate or reckless character, deliberate or reckless behaviors that cause us to get carried away. Now you doing too much. Like the young people say, oh, now you're doing too much. So giving too little or giving too much. I know this moment is going a little bit long because we reached our hour point. I only have just a little bit more, but I definitely am not going to keep you much longer for us to get through this moment. I appreciate all of you that are thugging it all the way out, because we're going to get up all into this and get up out of it. Next point, next and final point, guys. The law says, I have not carried away food. I have not carried away food. Now, this second part that we're going into this law is, I notice that the law does not say I have not eaten the food. We had a last one that said I have not stolen the food. The law didn't say I haven't wasted my food. It says I haven't carried away, which implies that I'm still going to eat the food. I still need the food. I'm still going to partake in the food. The law is just saying I cannot carry it away. So, to me, when I hear the second part that I'm going in, this law is saying I have not chosen not to eat with my people. I have not. Yes, I'm going to eat. Yes, I'm going to get. Yes, I'm going to grow, but I haven't chosen to do it separate from my people. Okay, that's why I said this moment gonna be a little bit longer. Okay, y'all, because we're gonna go into this part. We going into this part. So I am still going to get what I need. I'm still gonna do what's necessary for me. This is the 42 laws of my. This is what our ancestors say, y'all. This is not harmony. This is what the ancestors. I am doing it though with others. How many times do people say, I'm just gonna do me? I'm just going to do me. I'm still going to, again, get my bag, raise my children, go after my goals, get healthy, get fit. I'm doing everything. I'm just doing it by myself. I don't even want to be around people. I don't want to do it around, I don't need those of us who have church hurt or community trauma or just any type of life and group experiences. We just get to the point where we just nah. I go after God by myself. I can go after wholeness and wellness on my own. I can go after health. This law says I have not carried away food. I haven't gone away. I haven't taken what I have received, what I need, the good that's going to come of it, and I've taken it away from the people. I haven't gone away. I will eat with my people. So in essence, because again, it doesn't say I didn't waste the food. It doesn't say I'm not going to eat the food. It says I haven't carried it away, which means you do have it and you do need it. And they're saying, don't take it away. I'm going to sit at the table with my people and eat with my people. I'm going to sit at the party and eat with the party. No one says, so they're saying, do not come to the cookout with a styrofoam plate, because you've already made up your mind that you're going to get what it is you want and you're going to walk on up out of there. It's this is saying, I'm not coming to the cookout to make a plate and to leave. Listen, y'all, as a 15-year community advocate, a 15-year community advocate, community leader, an exchanger, a supporter of my people, of families and homes, of families and children, of community initiatives, I cannot stress this enough. This law says, I did not go amongst the people as they were eating and partaking in the festivities, took what I needed, and then I left. I have not carried away food. I did not come and get and go. This is what this law is saying. I have not come and get and gone. I have mingled, I have conversed, I have contributed, I have learned, I have sacrificed, I have tried, I have been a part. I did not come and get and go. I have sat with the people. Listen, those of you that have families, and I got a nice size one, y'all know that when we cook all the food, and if you have a table and you're putting nowadays, a lot of us eat in separate spaces, right? You go to your room, some eat on the sofa, what have you. But we're talking about in the wholesomeness of ways, which would be everyone sitting at the table together. I have not taken the food that I was given and went off to my separate space. Our parents used to hate that. Where are you going? Come sit at the table. No one gets up till all their food is gone. And I get it now. And, we all go, let me get my food, let me get my plate. My mother used to be like, you're not going to be able to have a TV in your room. We used to hate it. She used to tell us we couldn't have a TV in our room. She was so big on us being antisocial. She was just like, that's antisocial. You cannot go upstairs and watch TV all day. Even when we had friends, when we got older, my daughter's age, we had dates and times and schedules around when we could spend time outside the house because we didn't want to be home. We know these people. We don't want to be here. But she was like, you have more than friends. You have family. You can't just come in here, get some food. Do I owe you get some food and walk up out of here? You have a place here amongst us. You have a place we have a place amongst one another. A place that we don't value, a place that we don't develop, and a place that we don't prioritize. And it leaves us tethered. It leaves us torn to pieces in this very individualistic, anti-moralistic, low vibrational society. In a place when we need each other the most. At a time when we need to converse, we need to bounce back and forth. We need to support. We need to exchange. We need to grow and model and clay. We need to uplift. We need to know. I need to know where you are. I need to know what's going on with you. I need to know that you're okay. In a society that conditions us constantly, that no, mind your business. Leave them alone. Listen, I'm the queen. I am not preaching. I am sharing. I am the queen of minding my business because the weight of others gets so heavy to me. The unfairness of this sharing of spirit can get so heavy on me that I just like, it's not my business. I can't afford to lose myself. But here's the thing. If we were in a space where everyone was there for each other, you could never lose yourself. You would only be reinforced, reminded of yourself at all times. Now, we know that when it comes to family, when it comes to community, when it comes to organization, when it comes to institution, when any group settings, many of them are not easy breezy, lemon squeezy, okay? And we don't always walk away from them feeling better, more whole, and more like ourselves. A lot of times we walk out feeling a lot more dysfunctional because of the traumas, because of the personality disorders, because of the mental illness, because of the stress of this way on us. And then we put the stress on each other because it's all that we have inside of us a lot of times. So we decide to be loners. We decide to be single. We decide to go by ourselves. We decide to have only one or two other people to be a part of our lives forever. We decide not to have a circle, but a triangle. I am sharing, not preaching. We decide that this little circle thing, this little family thing, this little community thing is not going to work for me. Our ancestors say, I have not carried away food. That means there is wealth in the circle. There is power in the circle. There is leveling in the circle. There is growth in the circle. There is spirituality in the circle. There is unity in the circle. You and your healing is in the circle. Our lack of ability to deal with conflict, our lack of ability to be mature and develop, our lack of divine operations like forgiveness and communication and transparency and ambition and relentless trying, our ability to not give up and give in causes us to walk away from the circle, to take our food and carry it on. You can wrap that up for me. Check, please. I am sharing. I am not preaching. And I cannot convey that enough. At 38 years old, your girl is the queen of check, please. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. Can't be disappointed. I can't take another heartbreak. I can't be caught up in nobody's shenanigans. I can't be misunderstood. Why can't you? Why can't you? What if I tell you that the only way for us to heal collectively, which is needed, the only way for us to be on the same page collectively, which is needed, the only way for us to get to the other level of self is that we first must move together. I have places I am going to go just with me, oh my. That's going to happen. But oh, the heights I could go with we owe us. With we owe us. And we do owe us, by the way. We owe it to each other. African proverb, if you want to go far, go alone. What is it? No, if you want to go fast. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Our ancestors again. You know what I'm saying? They just brilliant up in this joint. They just brilliant. Eat with your people. I have not carried away food. I have not taken my talents and my gifts and my contributions. I have not taken my greatness and my glory, my mission and my purpose, and I have packed it up and I have taken it away with me. Listen, y'all, easier said than done. I know. But your girl is growing and she's learning. And she's deliberately seeking and becoming. And I've come up into my little cave so that I can go inside of myself, so that I can come out and be a part of us all coming out and coming together and being better. Yes, marriage is hard. But oh, for the grace of those that will eat at the table when it's hard. Eat at the table when it's confusing. Oh, eat at the table, because at the end of the day, we will have been nourished by our food and have journeyed and bonded together. I can go eat in peace and be fine by myself. Or I can come eat with you and grow into something greater. Work. You talking about work? I mean, work. You're talking about maturity. You're talking about forgiveness. You're talking about growth. You talking about some big girl draws, some big boy undies. You know what I'm saying? Big boy, big girl stuff. Now, I know some of the stuff I'm talking is far off for some of us. But what I'm saying is this is the law. I have not carried away food. I have carefully considered my contribution. I have contributed to the meal, and I have contributed to the setting, and I have contributed to the circle. I have created an environment where I don't have to carry my food away. I have made the environment clean. I have made the environment appropriate. I have made the environment. See, a lot of us are walking away from the chaos because we do not think that we possess the ability to contribute and change and create the environment that is needed not only for us, but for everyone. If you start walking away from the circle and you don't fix it, you don't grow it, you don't recreate it, you don't revise it, you walk away and everything you build must stay away also. So you have these family functions you can't go to. But now your children can't go and your grandchildren can't go. And whatever you do create, your home and your ambitions and your goals, they can't be a part of the circle. And part of you may feel like that's cool because the circle is crazy. They don't need to be a part of it. But I'm telling you, there's a different set of victory. There's a different set of accomplishments. There's a different set of achievements on the go far. You can live in the go fast, but you'll never die in the go far. You can live. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you got to go together. They had that. And when I just look, our ancestors just sold it up. They sold it up. They got it left. You can live in the go fast, but you'll never die in the go far. And we're talking about creating legacy. We're talking about creating community. We're talking about creating peace. We're talking about actual change, revolution, growth of the ways that we think, growth in the ways that we are, growth in the way that we move, reestablishing self, resetting boundaries, recreating realities for us and our legacy, our seed, our future generations. So that now at 38, I can be like, peace out. This is crazy. But at 80, I'm still going to be pieced out and crazy. When I could be connected and well and have that fountain of reciprocity that I spoke of earlier. I came here to give to you in a way, and you were created to give to me in a way. And when we cut that operation, when we cut and break down that intention, we deform our existence and our growth. If the machine was made to work like this, I realize the machine is still going to work if I take one of these away. But it's only going to halfway work. But it's okay because it's still working. I'm just working it. I have to have the mindset to understand that if half of the machine works, why would I not want the whole machine experience? If half of it will do, then the whole thing will be extraordinarily phenomenal. If I can do this with half of the greatness, half of the support, half of the understanding, half of the exchange, what in the world would it be if I had the whole picture? I want us to think about a washing machine and a dryer. Many of us will be like, I'll take the washing machine because I can hang dry. I have a 10-year-old kingdom. Me and him go through this all the time. He's always trying to give me the worst of a scenario. He's always making me choose between two evils. Would you rather, yesterday he said, would you rather eat chocolate in the sun or would you rather eat a cake in the rain? And I always tell him I would rather eat cake in a house. He's like, that's not an option. That's not an option, man. You always mess it up. I don't think I have to choose between suffering and suffering. I think there are two ways in life. It either works or it doesn't work. And sometimes we can be at a place mentally, emotionally, and spiritually where it takes something half working because of the hurting we're getting from the operation. So I may not use the dryer because of how much the BGE bill costs. And I may say it's practical. Get rid of the dryer. I'll just do the washing machine. It'll still get my clothes done. You're right. Clothes will get washed. They'll get dry. But we all know the quality of an air dry clothes as opposed to a dryer. The efficiency and the quality are different. And we are compromising quality and efficiency as a people, as a community, as families, as couples, as unions. We are compromising quality and efficiency for just mere operation because of pain, because of trauma, because of the inability to problem solve and to create and to grow together. Our ancestors said, sit at the table and eat your food together. Through uncomfortable conversation, through foods you don't always like, through history and pain that doesn't always feel good, work it out and sit at the table together. Because what good is the nourishment that you're going to get from the food that you don't and can't give to yourself and your legacy or others? You would rather go away to feed yourself for a second than to invest in the community and feed your people and everyone forever. As painful and as frustrating as it is to sit at this table and eat with you, if we figure it out, if we work it through, if we make it through, not only will the next meal be so much more satisfying, but there will be a next meal. And there will be meals for our children in the future. Sometimes we have to sit here and we have to say, I'm not taking my stuff and going for me. I'm not taking my stuff and I'm not going for the greater good of it all. Now, I don't believe in self-sacrificing and to the point of self-sabotage. I will tell you that. I'm not about to stay up in nothing that is toxic and belittling and destructive and just sit up in it. But what I'm saying is that every good and great thing comes with trial and tribulation. Every good and great thing. I have given birth to 5 people. And not one of them got here without completely opening my body and practically turning it inside out. Every good and great thing comes with extreme trial and tribulation, challenge and growth. And our ancestors said, I have not carried away my food. Wrap this up. I gotta go. Give me some aluminum foil. This is too much. Check, please. Our ancestors said you stayed. You did not come and get and go, but you stayed and you contributed and you grow. And you've grown. We didn't come, get, and go, but we stayed and loved and fought to grow. We have to do that with each other. Our ancestors said it. I want us to continue to do that with each other. Thank y'all for sticking through this extremely long moment. It got real, but I have not carried away food. Starting the day off, set the declaration, I will not carry away food. Ooh, that's a hard one. And at the end of the day, I have not carried away food. I stuck in there. I sat in it. I gave and I tried and I did and I was reciprocal and I was fair. And the nourishment was for the body of everyone. It was for the larger body. Listen, hard work. Thank y'all again. I love you all so very much. Look at the chat members still on at the end of the moment. Thank you for joining me for another moment of harmony. I look forward to being a part of your moment next week. Take really good care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Take really, 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 really great care of yourself. I learned that so many hard ways this week. I can never reiterate that enough. Take really great care of yourself. Go on out your way. Take really good care of somebody else, because we get better when we get better. You know what I'm saying? I love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I will see you next week for another moment of harmony.